The smell of burning paper drifted through the grand marble lobby just as the morning sunlight poured through the towering glass windows. Every customer froze in disbelief as one of the city's most respected bank managers held a check over the flame of a lighter, smiling with cruel confidence while ashes floated onto the polished floor. Across from him stood a tired black single father holding the tiny hand of his little daughter, who clutched a worn teddy bear and stared at the burning check with frightened eyes. The father never raised his voice. He never begged. He simply watched the flames consume what everyone believed was his last hope. No one in that room could have imagined that the quiet man being humiliated in front of everyone wasn't just another struggling customer. He was the silent majority owner of the very bank standing around them, and within the next hour, every life inside that building would change forever. Before we continue, if you believe kindness is stronger than pride and everyone deserves a second chance, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Heartline Stories. Your support helps us bring more emotional stories that inspire hearts around the world. It was a bright Tuesday morning when 36-year-old Malcolm Rhodes walked into First USA Bank wearing faded jeans, a plain gray shirt, and well-worn work boots. His daughter, 6-year-old Naomi, held tightly onto his hand after spending the morning helping him deliver breakfast to elderly neighbors through a local volunteer program. To everyone who saw them, they looked like another struggling father and child trying to survive difficult times. What no one knew was that Malcolm had spent years building his life quietly after serving his country, surviving unimaginable loss, and investing every dollar he could save into businesses that believed in helping communities instead of exploiting them. Through a confidential investment trust managed by his late mentor, Malcolm had become the largest shareholder of First USA Bank, but he had never revealed his identity because he wanted the company to be judged by its values instead of his name. That morning Malcolm had come to cash a certified check issued from another financial institution. The funds were intended for a scholarship foundation honoring his late wife, whose dream had been to help children from struggling families attend college without fear of crushing debt. Because the foundation's launch was scheduled for that afternoon, every minute mattered. Unfortunately, fate had placed him in front of Gregory Stanton, the regional bank manager whose expensive suit matched an even larger ego. Gregory glanced at Malcolm's appearance, looked at Naomi's worn sneakers, and decided within seconds that they did not belong inside his prestigious branch. Without verifying the documents or following proper banking procedures, Gregory accused Malcolm of presenting a fraudulent check. Several employees looked uncomfortable, but none dared challenge their manager. Customers slowly gathered, whispering among themselves while Naomi hid behind her father, confused by the growing hostility. Instead of calmly investigating the situation, Gregory made a dramatic display of authority. He declared that fake checks deserved to be destroyed before they wasted the bank's time. Then, with cameras from curious customers already recording the scene, he pulled out a lighter and set the edge of the check on fire. Tiny pieces of ash floated through the air as Naomi began crying softly. Malcolm gently comforted her without taking his eyes off the burning paper. His calmness confused everyone. Most people expected anger, shouting, or threats, but Malcolm simply reached into his pocket, removed his phone, and quietly sent one message to a trusted attorney. Less than 10 words appeared on the screen. Please activate emergency board authority. Within 20 minutes, luxury vehicles rolled into the bank's parking lot under the brilliant midday sun. Men and women dressed in professional business attire entered the lobby with expressions of urgency. Gregory smiled confidently, assuming they had arrived to congratulate him for protecting the bank from fraud. Instead, every executive walked directly past him and stopped in front of Malcolm. The oldest member of the board extended his hand respectfully before apologizing for the humiliation Malcolm and Naomi had endured. Silence filled the building. Gregory laughed nervously, convinced there had been some terrible misunderstanding. Then the chairman turned toward everyone gathered in the lobby and calmly announced that Malcolm Rhodes was the majority owner of First USA Bank through the Rhodes Community Trust and had quietly directed millions of dollars toward affordable housing, scholarships, veteran support programs, and small business development without ever seeking recognition. The room became completely silent. Phones recording the incident slowly lowered as customers realized they had witnessed one of the greatest examples of judging someone by appearance instead of character. Gregory's face lost all color. His hands trembled as he realized the man he had publicly humiliated possessed the authority to end his career with a single signature. Security officers who had previously stood beside Gregory now respectfully stepped away. Employees who had remained silent looked down in shame, wishing they had spoken up when kindness was needed most. Yet Malcolm surprised everyone once again. He didn't demand revenge. He didn't celebrate Gregory's embarrassment. Instead, he quietly explained that leadership was never measured by power but by compassion. He reminded every employee that the greatest responsibility inside a bank was not protecting money but protecting people's dignity. Wealth could be earned again. Trust, once burned like that check, was much harder to rebuild. An internal investigation soon revealed that Gregory had developed a long pattern of discriminating against customers based on appearance, income, and background. Many families who had quietly accepted humiliation finally came forward with their own stories. Because Malcolm insisted on fairness instead of vengeance, Gregory received due process, but the evidence spoke for itself. He was dismissed from his position, while the bank launched comprehensive training programs focused on respect, empathy, and equal treatment for every customer. That same afternoon, under the warm daylight, Malcolm and Naomi stood together as the Scholarship Foundation officially opened its doors. Hundreds of children would receive educational opportunities because one father had refused to let bitterness replace integrity. Reporters praised Malcolm's wealth, but those who truly understood the story recognized that his greatest fortune was the gentle example he set for his daughter. Naomi smiled proudly as she watched the first scholarship certificates being handed to deserving students, knowing her mother's dream had finally become reality. Months later, First USA Bank became known not for luxury offices or record profits but for extraordinary customer service built on kindness and respect. Employees were encouraged to listen before judging, to understand before assuming, and to remember that every person walking through those doors carried a story invisible to the eye. Malcolm rarely appeared in public, choosing instead to spend his mornings with Naomi, volunteering in neighborhoods where hope was often in short supply. The memory of that burning check remained, not as a symbol of humiliation, but as a reminder that character always outshines appearances. If this story touched your heart, please leave a comment telling us where you're watching from, share this video with someone who believes in treating people with dignity, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Heartline Stories. Your support allows these meaningful stories to reach more hearts across the world. Special request: in memory of every parent who keeps fighting for their child despite life's hardships, please take one moment today to show kindness to someone who may be silently carrying a heavy burden. Because in the end, the richest people are never those who own the biggest banks, they are the ones who never let success burn away their humanity. And sometimes, the quietest person in the room is carrying a legacy powerful enough to change countless lives forever.